Welcome back to Love It Film. My name is Jamie. Today's guest, you're gonna recognize him straight away if you were a Game of Thrones fan. Most people were. Game of Thrones was the biggest TV show in the history of television back in the mid 2010s. You could not go into any store without seeing Jon Snow, the Night King, Daenerys Targaryen, and even Hodor. And that's a hint to who I'm interviewing today. Kristian Nairn, the actor who played Hodor, is on Love It Film today. And Kristian is a great guy. He wasn't just Hodor, he's also a DJ in Northern Ireland, and he is badass at that too. I can't wait to talk to Kristian about what he thought about the ending of Game of Thrones, because let's face it, it is a very, very divisive ending to say the least, and that's being generous, okay? I can't wait to talk to him and see what he thought about it, about everything to do with Hodor and himself in general. So without further ado, let's get into the interview. Hello. Hey, man.
How are you?
Nice to meet you. You're in Northern Ireland, yeah?
Yeah, just outside Belfast.
I'm in Dublin, so you're
Oh, nice.
seeing the mix of rain and nice weather.
It's been foul. I don't know what's been going on. I lost a few tiles a couple of days ago there, but yeah,
Did
I
you?
think it's calm. Yeah. It was really wild up here because we're like, I think Scotland got the brunt of it, so
Yeah,
we're obviously a little closer.
I have in front of my little flat, I have like a granny flat type of thing, and I had a swing in a back garden go right into my window with the wind like 2 nights ago, you know? So I think I got a little bit of it, man, you know? So, Kristian Nairn, thanks. So I'm pronouncing your second name correct, first of all. It's Nairn, is it?
Yeah, more or less.
Ah, okay. If it's
I
different,
accept
tell
all
me.
connotations. Honestly,
Yeah.
I travel the world regularly, so believe me, I hear all connotations of that word. So yeah,
Really? How
Nairn.
would you pronounce it? Nairn.
Nairn. Yeah, I mean it's
Nairn.
Scottish. So if you want to do a Scottish accent, that's probably the best way. If you go like Nairn,
Nairn. All right,
Nairn.
okay.
But I'm not
It's a
going to
good
do that
name. It's a
because
good name.
I'm terrible at Scottish accents. So despite being half
Me too.
Scottish, which is a bit embarrassing, but
Oh,
oh well.
really?
Yeah,
I,
I'm
I
half
was
Scottish.
only in Scotland a while ago. I love Edinburgh. It was just Scotch whiskey and just it's so nice. It's so nice. But Kristian, I just want to ask you about you and
Yeah,
how you got into show business. Where did that crazy journey begin for you?
I mean it's kind of been a lifelong journey. Honestly, I wasn't really always aware of it, you know.
Uh-huh.
But everything's kind of been pointing me in this direction all my life. I'm not really able to do anything else. You know, I kind of realized that during COVID. I was like, if I was going to repivot and become like a postman or some other like a worthwhile job that actually helps people, I don't know what I would do. Honestly, I really, really don't know what I would do. So,
Yeah.
but I started with music. My mum kind of threw me at a piano when I was like a very small child, and my dream was to play the pipe organ because I've always had a flair for the dramatic. And I got
Oh
obsessed with
wow.
Phantom of the Opera at a very young age. My grandmother bought me a tape of Phantom of the Opera, and I attribute that to the beginning of my showbiz career because I got obsessed. Um,
Yeah.
and that turned into a love of heavy metal because it's just dramatic, man. I'm just a drama queen. It's like I love the pipe organ because it's dramatic. I moved on to heavy metal because it's angry, and then I moved
Yeah.
into house music and trance because it's intense. You know what I mean? And it's just
And you're a DJ now, aren't you?
yeah, yeah. I've been a DJ for 20. Oh my God, about 22 years.
Oh wow. Wow.
22
Nice.
years. Yeah, 22 years. Yeah, long
Wow.
time.
Like I mean, from Phantom of the Opera to heavy metal, it's I can see the connection there.
I'm not sure I can, but it's all about the drama. I realized
It's
that
the
when I
drama.
wrote
It's
the
the
book.
loudness. You know.
Well,
It's
yeah, when I wrote the book last year, I realized that it sort of it connected a few dots for me, which I didn't really hadn't done myself, you
yeah.
know. And that's been the best thing from the book. It's been, I feel like I'm in Christian version 2.0, which has been
Makes
strange.
sense.
You know, it's like it's kind of like it's a memoir, not an autobiography. So I mean, it's a certain time of my life, and now I feel like I'm entering the next part, whatever that's going to
Sure.
be.
And when writing a memoir like that, was that like a cathartic experience, just putting
Right.
everything into one place?
Yeah, because I wasn't even that keen, honestly. Who actually lives their life and thinks, God, I'm going to write this down? You know, it's not, you don't like do book worthy things every day. But during writing it, I realized it was a worthwhile exercise. And it's definitely taught me a lot about myself and
Mhm.
probably my life, which I hadn't really looked at. Because it happens at a fast pace when you're in the middle of it, and then you get a chance to look back at it. It's interesting.
Yeah, yeah, it sounds it honestly, and where I first saw you, of course, was on TV. When Game of Thrones came out, I was a young teenager. I would have been. Did 2013 you guys started? Was it that season one around that time?
Yes, around then.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
would have been like 13, 14. I just obsessed with it, an actual fan of the show as it
Oh
was
no.
coming out, and that's when I first saw you as Hodor, which you know went down as probably the most famous line in or famous word I will say
Right.
in
Yes.
TV. Like anytime people who even don't watch or didn't watch the show, if I
Yeah.
say Hodor, they know your face.
I
I
know.
mean, I'm sure you talked about this 1,000 times and in your memoir as well. But how did that begin? Like, when was the first time when you said the word and started in that crazy world?
Well, I was working as a DJ and a drag artist in a club in Belfast called Kremlin. Um, and there was a customer that used to come in, and he was a theatrical agent. And he always used to talk to me about doing like maybe doing panto or maybe doing some theater in the Grand Opera House. And I was never interested. I never really was interested in it. I mean, I did study acting when I was at college, and it never really floated my boat. I was always more into music. Um, but he kept at me. He kept at me, and he sent me to occasional auditions, and one of them happened to be for Hot Fuzz. It's kind of
Oh,
probably a famous story now, but an audition for the part of Yarp, the guy in the
yeah, yeah,
supermarket,
yeah.
which weirdly ends up being Rory McCann, the Hound.
I
Um,
know.
so weird. But it ended up being the same casting director, Nina Gold. And she called me back 5 years later, and it all just went crazy after that. And I remember what you said about the word, and it is interesting because there was actually quite a lot of pressure on how I was going to say it.
Really?
Was it going to? Yeah, 'cause, I mean, they let me do whatever I wanted. With that word, they never corrected me, never. But it's like this is a famous. I knew it was a famous word, and I know how important the books were. I know they were huge, and I was the first person to actually say this word apart from the audiobook. Um, and it was pressure, man, because that's all I got.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
all.
yeah, yeah.
That's all I
I
got.
never thought of it that way. Yeah, because it's like if it's the one thing you're saying, you're like, I better get it right.
Yeah, you don't want to do too little, and you also don't want to do jazz hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that type of character inspired loads of things coming out in like movies and stuff. Even like Guardians of the Galaxy, like the I am Groot thing, where you're given so much personality into the one sentence or word. Do you see the connection?
Guardians of the Galaxy has been around for quite. If you're a Marvel fan, Guardians of the Galaxy and Groot have been around for many years. So,
The comics,
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, I know, but I mean, I'm definitely not. I mean, there's characters from of Mice and Men. There's Lenny, and like there's been a lot of one-word characters. It is kind of a trope, but
Mm.
I think he did the best one. I'm happy
I
I did
think
the best
so. I
one.
think so, man. Like 100%. I
I
mean,
mean, no
as
disrespect to
anyone,
Vin Diesel.
yeah.
I mean,
No, but I mean, as people know who've seen the show, and if you haven't seen the show, I mean, I don't know where you've been. It was the biggest show in the world when it was on. But I mean, your character went from a character you think, oh, he's just this guy, he's helping Bran, he has one word, maybe he's just, one of these types of characters, like you mentioned, Lenny in Mice of Men. But he obviously goes on to be such a gigantic revelation type of character where it's going there's time travel, there's things connected and all that type of thing. When you first started in the show, were the creators verbal with that with you? Would like did they let you know or was no?
never,
Oh
never.
wow, that's
Um,
interesting.
my mum knew weirdly because she had read the
Really?
book. Well, she read the books before I ever did the audition. I didn't know that at the time, of course, because yeah, my mum reads a lot. Um, and she said, Christian, you got to take this part. There's more to that guy. There's more. I just know. When I was reading the books, I could tell he's there for a reason, and there's going to be something cool happens. And I was like, okay, okay, thanks, mom. I've got you to thank for changing my life. Well, I mean, obviously, for giving me life at first, but then changing my life. But yeah, I always knew there was something coming. Um, because he was just like a sleeper character, and he's always there. He said enough and did enough to sort of pull your heartstrings every now and then, give you a bit of a laugh. But then in the tragic world of Game of Thrones, that's enough to put your head above the pulpit and get you killed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You get a
I,
moment in
I
the sun and you're like,
I know it's unfortunate as well because like I loved your portrayal as the character, and as I told you at the beginning of the interview, I was a young teenager when this show was coming out, and for a young teenager who's into this fantasy type of thing and these
Mhm.
types of worlds, it was the best thing in the world. It was an absolute escape from school and stuff like that. I have memories of being in school talking like theories about the characters, Hodor in particular, and stuff like that. But from your perspective, you were actually there. This was work to you. You were on these sets as a job.
Um,
I mean, fun work. Don't get me wrong. I mean,
Hard
what
work,
was it like?
hard fun
Hard
work,
work, of course, of
hard and
course.
fun. Trust me.
Yeah. I mean, what was a day in the life of working on Thrones like? I know it's probably a very, very loaded question, but just for like outsiders like me, what was that like?
Different all the time. Depends if you're in location, if you're in the paint hall. We had a number of different studios. Um, we did a lot around the beautiful scenery of Ireland and Northern Ireland, well, obviously mostly Northern Ireland, but um, it's just incredible. I just remember some days I would pinch myself. You'd be getting up at like 4 a.m. in the morning, which is horrific. I mean, I'm a night person, and I still to this day it kills me, man. It's like this. I'm like, why does it have to start so early? It's
Yeah,
not
I'd be
fair.
the same.
I think, what's going on here? And then it goes on very long. But I remember being up the side of a mountain near Larne, um, and the sun was just coming up, and I was in my trailer, and I'm sitting there in like a fantasy costume. I'm about to go and reenact this amazing scene, and I just thought to myself, yeah, life's pretty good. You know, it's
Yeah,
tiring, but life's pretty goddamn good. And for a fantasy fan like me, like yourself, I was like oh, it was incredible. I'll never forget the
yeah,
first day I walked on set. I'll never forget the first day. It was just like this can't be real, because it felt so real. And I think that's what the difference is. The lengths to details that they went to, uh, um, even the smells. Like there would be like raw rotting meat and stuff, and it would smell and sound and look like it's supposed to. And it was very easy, especially as a new actor. It made it easy because it's like
yeah.
this is real. I'm fucking
Hmm.
here. I don't know if I can swear. Can I swear?
Oh, you can
Sorry.
swear it's on the internet. Go
Okay,
go
sorry.
away. Yeah, no worries.
That's such a terrible person. Um,
No.
yeah, it just made it really easy to like absorb yourself into this reality, and it was wonderful. I would stay there if I could.
Yeah, no, I would too, man. I mean, like you're so lucky to have gotten to see that, especially as a fan of the show and
Mhm.
fantasy in general. I mean, I was rewatching season one just in prep for the interview because it's been a while since I watched the show. What was the
Same.
first scene? Yeah, what was the first scene you filmed? I think the first thing I saw you in season one might have been where Robert Baratheon and Cersei and Jamie are coming
Yeah,
into Winterfell. Was that the first scene? Because I remember seeing you
that
in
was the
that
second.
second.
The
What was the
second.
first one?
I actually think I got this wrong in the book. I think I
Did you?
said it the other way around. So sorry, guys. Um, I believe it was the scene where Peter Dinklage gave me the plans for Bran's saddle.
Okay, yeah, later in season one, yeah.
Yeah, that was the first. And then later that day, it was the scene in the bedroom where I first carry Hodor, or I didn't carry Hodor, that would be weird. Um, carry Bran. No, I burst into Bran's bedroom. It was Alfie, Theon. Alfie, he and sort of said, "I'm going to carry you." Basically, that was the second scene on the first day. So we did two scenes in the day, which is very unusual
Yeah.
because they're very slow.
Oh, I'd say I mean to get it that good. I mean I can't
That's
imagine
good.
it'd be quick. Like I mean, what was that scene like where all these characters were coming in? Because I could imagine at the time these were all new
Mm.
people to you coming in as
Yeah,
well. Very much for Hodor and all these the Starks too. I mean, that must have been crazy as well, right?
it was, and just like I was saying there with the realism and stuff. See the horses and the armor and the Lannister carriage, and some actors are really recognized and stuff. And there's me standing among them.
Yeah.
And not as an extra, not as an extra. Like I'm actually, and I'm having like a nervous tick. You know what I mean? I'm
I
trying
have
not to
them all the
fall.
time. Yeah.
And so do I. But anyway, um, I'm trying not to fall over and make a fool of myself.
Yeah.
It was intense, but that was a very special day, actually. Just and maybe one of the only times everyone kind of was together from that part of the
Yeah.
world. Obviously, the
Hmm.
Dothraki and stuff weren't there, and people who were introduced from like Marine and stuff. But um, yeah, all the initial characters were there.
Yeah. If you're a fan of Love of Film and you're watching us here on YouTube, please subscribe. I mean, it would really help us. I mean, if you like our stuff, we post reels all the time on Instagram, on TikTok, and please leave a review. Reviews do great for us. I mean, helps us make more of these videos on Apple Podcast reviews. That's where the magic happens. So if you have time and want to give your thoughts, it doesn't have to be positive too. If you don't like what I'm doing, you can write that down. You can get angry. Yeah, leave a review. If you're enjoying Love It Film over here, the show with me talking to these people about movie things, you can help us directly by signing up to our Patreon. The links are in the bio. I mean, hey, a little goes a long way. So if you want to do that, I really appreciate it. I mean, going into the future as well. I mean, your character had such a good arc, which is rare in a show like Game of Thrones because there's so many characters having their own story. But Hodor, it was season 6, right, where there was the Hold the Door episode, and where Hodor unfortunately meets his end. I mean, that must have been sad, obviously, because it's the end of such, as I can imagine, the best job in the world. Did you know at the beginning of season 6 did the guy sit you down and say, "Hey, Hodor is going out in this season"?
Just before, it was actually Finn Jones. He called me and he was like, "Have you read the script?" I was like, "I know I'm going to die." I mean, I just, when someone calls you and said, "Have you read the script?" I mean, that's all I knew. And yeah, he's like, "It's okay, it's okay, it's really cool." And then he was like, "Yeah, I'm going to die later in the season, don't worry." It's like total bloodbath, like just like any other season. But yeah, it was sad, man. At that stage, I'd been on it for 6 years, and I felt ready to move on. You know, it was immensely physically taxing. The job, it's like nothing else I've ever done in my life because of all the repetition. It was incredible. It's destroyed me. In fact, it's destroyed my back and everything. But you know, that's fine. It was worth it. But when I got to the final day, I wasn't very happy. I realized what I was leaving. Especially Isaac. Isaac was like back then. He was like, I mean, we're still friends, obviously, great friends at that. But he was like a little brother back then, and he treated me like almost like a second father. You know, and we spent so much time. I love him to death. Like he's like, I would do anything for him. He's the coolest kid ever. He's not a kid anymore. He's like 24. You know,
and he's king.
I know. That shocked a lot of people.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, shock is the word. But I feel like in Game of Thrones, you can either go out in a big, flamboyant way, or you can go out the opposite direction, where it's just very, very quick and you're gone.
Littlefinger
character. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, your character's death was, in my opinion, the best in the show. It was the most rewarding isn't the word, but it made so much sense. And going back in time to when he was a kid and everything making sense in one singular scene where you're saying, "Hold the door," then Hodor. It was wow. I remember going into school the next day going, "Guys, I can't believe what happened. He's gone." And everyone was down that day. Everyone was sad. It was like over this fictional character. Yeah, it's like Hodor, man. Like it was insane. I mean, I suppose, although it's sad, yes, you're leaving this amazing thing. You have relationships with Isaac, who's amazing, obviously. I mean, were you happy at least with Hodor's ending having so much meaning? Yeah,
I loved it. I remember. You see, obviously you know this, but and many people who are watching this will know this, but some people don't realize how disjointed filming is, and you really can't imagine sometimes what a scene is going to play like. I remember the first day. Who was the director? Jack Bender was the director, which is a wonderful name, but that's the best name in the world, in fact. But I'd be lost without that name. But
I bet he had a good time in school.
I bet he did. But yeah, I remember on the iPad he was showing me kind of finished scene with the music in it for the first time, and I was just like, oh, this is great. And yeah, it's bizarre. Yeah, nothing's filmed in sequence and everything, and like people always ask me about the door, and I'm like, which one? There's like I had about 5 doors. There are lots of doors, and I have a piece of the original, by the way.
Oh my god! Wow.
But it came off in my hand, and I shoved it into my handbag.
Smart. I would have done the same.
Do you know a funny story actually? I told that story once in a Comic Con or something, and there was a Google alert from the Calgary Herald or something in the middle of like random like Canada that the cast of Game of Thrones were warned and threatened not to steal things from set because I took an entire door, a
You
door,
took a
a whole
door.
door, a whole
What?
door. It was like literally a piece about this
Beast.
size, this
Yeah.
size. And apparently, I'd walked out with an entire wooden door in my back, and because of this, like you can't take the Iron Throne home, which
No,
you're not
no,
allowed to steal shit anyway. You know what I mean? You can't just take
no.
shit.
No, no. I wouldn't imagine so. I mean, they go off to auctions and stuff like that. You're
Yeah, I
hardly
actually
taking
was
a
at the
door.
auction, dude. I actually went to the auction in New York for everything,
Seriously,
and
how
it
much did
was
the crazy money for everything was it?
the long claw went for 1.5 million.
What? That is insane. Who has
My,
the money to be buying these things?
I know, but I wanted to go and shake them, man. Like, I mean, they're valuable, obviously, and they're cool, but
Yeah,
it's not. It almost looks like they were buying real history, and I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's not a real sword. It's a
It's
plastic
it's the
fucking
power of
sword.
a TV show, isn't it? It's I mean,
Uh,
that show in particular is. I don't think we'll ever get a show like it because it was a mix of so many different genres and it just hit
um,
everyone. I mean, men, women, like children, everybody loved that show and it had an impact on it. And I mean, apart like the main reason, in my opinion, for that was you actors and your performances. Like before we go off the subject of your final episode, that was because of your performance. It was spectacular. So fair play to you. Like it was very, very good and it impacted so many people to this day that I could still say Hodor to my friends. They know exactly what I'm talking about.
yeah, I mean, I don't take credit for that because it's very much a team effort. But thank you. I appreciate it. Very
Yeah,
bad at
yeah, of
compliment.
course.
Typical
No,
Irish
no, no.
person.
Me too. Me too. We're Irish. We move on from this. We'll
Yeah.
skip ahead. I mean, obviously, your character left the show, and then they had
Yeah.
season 7, season 8, and I mean, everybody knows Game of Thrones had a controversial ending, but this is after you've left the show.
Yeah.
After you left, did you begin watching the show as a fan then, and then did
Yes.
you experience the ending like everybody else?
Like everybody else. Yeah. I made sure. I mean, I could have found out. I could have got the scripts or whatever, but that's exactly what I thought. I thought, you know what? I love this stuff, so I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy this.
Yeah.
I didn't let anyone talk about it. I was like, if I went to Comic Cons, it was like, nope, nope, shut your mouth. But yeah, and I'm gonna tell you this right now, and controversial hot take. I had no problem with the ending, and I don't get it. I don't get it. I've never actually said this before. I mean, I sometimes caveat it with, I think it could have been longer. And I think that might be where the problem people have because it was a bit rushed. Because everything else in Game of Thrones was slow, and it built and built and built and built, and then okay, I'm gonna sort of agree a wee bit here. Um, so diplomatic. Um, it was a bit like Michael Bay towards the end. Like I sort of got all about the special effects and the dragons and stuff. Where it was for me, it was all about like the little conversations between Cersei and Robert
Yeah.
Baratheon and stuff. That's the best part about Game of Thrones, learning why people are the way they are fucked up.
Yeah.
And then but then it turned into more like the Dragon Rider shit, like How to Train Your Bastard Dragon. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah. No,
uh,
it
I loved it. I did. I loved it. And like, I mean, literally, I don't see the problem with. I just don't get it. I don't. But I mean, I don't get the violence of the reaction. I understand people are
Yeah, do you
upset,
know what?
but
I think a lot of it is too. I mean, that show, everyone had their own ending in their head. That's the main issue. And when so many people had
that's
their
so
own
true.
ending in their head, nobody could possibly be happy. I mean,
No,
I mean, compared to the people online, I mean, I was never like I hate the ending or any of these
and
things. I just think it's one of these things where it
there
is
was no way.
aggressively overhated for no
Yeah,
reason. Like, I mean, people forget how good the show was because of that. I mean, that's
I
why. I
know.
mean, I'm always telling people to watch the show, just because it is, in my opinion, one of the best pieces of television ever made, and it needs to remain that way. And people need to keep seeing what you guys did because it was fucking awesome. You know?
It doesn't really matter about the end to me because there were so many like big moments. Every season had 3 or 4 moments that you could have ended the season on.
Yeah.
But I understand people were passionate, and you said the correct thing there. There was no way to keep people happy. Look at Breaking Bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look at that. And there's so many examples which I won't be able to give you any more of, but I
Like
know there are.
Dexter, there's millions of shows
Yeah,
where
thank you.
people are like, that's the worst ending I've ever seen, you know. But like some
Yeah,
people over it, that's I mean, the fact that people still talk about it says everything.
yeah. It shows how much they loved it. You know,
Yeah.
and I'm going to tell you this. This is I had a DM the other day, and it's not the first, not the first, and it won't be the last. I've had them many times. Some guy in like over towards the eastern direction. He has written 5 seasons of Game of Thrones, and he wants me to pass it on to George.
Oh my god.
I said, I've written a script, and this is the way it should have ended, and you pass it on to somebody, and then can you imagine me, um, George, here's a script. Would you mind? Your last season was shit, so I've written. Someone's written 5 other seasons. Like, God love you. I love
Yeah.
your dedication. Thank you for being. Oh my God, I'm not being rude about him. But thank you so much for being a fan, and I love the fact that you did it. But the fish is dead. The fish
Yeah.
is dead. It's on the beach. It's been battered, and what a
But
weird
yeah,
analogy.
people need to understand like it. Although it belonged to the people in the sense that everyone had a connection with it, but you guys made the show. It wasn't written by the fans. It's something that fans experience, not something fans
Mhm.
create as well. And you just have to accept an ending for what it is, and that's what I do. I that's why I'm rewatching the show now. After last time I rewatched it was when the final season was coming out, and I'm having the best time in the world. It still holds up. I mean, all of you guys' performances. I mean, those scenes with you and Isaac as well. It's just it holds up, and I think it honestly will forever. Now, Kristian, I want to be respectful of your time too. I feel like I want to end the interview on a very simple question, but well, simple's the wrong word. What does Hodor mean to you? Okay, definitely not a simple question.
No, it's not. I don't have any simple answers. I'm not a simple person,
That's
unfortunately.
good.
Uh, I don't know. Tell my therapist. What does he mean to me? He's like a friend. To me, although he was hard work, it was like a holiday as well. It's like the only way to play Hodor successfully was to really remove yourself from your thoughts and your reality, and not think about what's coming next. Hodor was purely reactive at times, and turning your brain into that way to be in a real, authentic way. It's quite a it's quite a holiday, actually. I mean, I'm really not thinking as Christian, so and I really enjoyed that. But as a vessel, he changed my life, man. Um, George, and George is a really good friend of mine. I've been really lucky to be one of the people that is connected with George, and I got to DJ his club in Santa Fe there a couple of months ago.
Oh my
And
god.
he is the coolest man. His wife is the coolest person. I mean, I have real love for those people, and they changed my life, and I'm so grateful to him. And he continues to support me. He read my book. He gave me a book signing in his bookshop in Santa Fe. What a cool man.
Yeah.
And when I hear people ragging on him about the book and stuff, and I understand people are so they're so
They
anxious
just
to
want
get
to.
it.
Yeah.
I totally get it. I mean, if I was reading the books, I'd be the same. I totally would be. But he's a wonderful man, and he and Hodor just completely changed my life. So it means the world.
Yeah. I mean, well said as well. And I think to the fans as well, like myself, Hodor means something to me too. I mean, your performance will live on forever as in, honestly, one of the best pieces of television that's ever been. There will never be a show like that. And I mean, you do other stuff too. I know, like, of course, you're a DJ. You have your book coming out. So folks, do check out his book. And I mean, if you need a DJ too, by all means as well. You do cons as well, Kristian, don't you?
I do, yeah, I do. I'm having a break at the minute. I'm working on some other stuff at the minute, but I have done a lot of content. I love them. Because I used to
Yeah.
go to Comic Cons before this.
I go to them. I love them as well. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
they're,
yeah.
they're
So
so fun.
yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll be able to catch you in other places too. I also saw you were doing poetry on TikTok. Keep that up. That's some good stuff as well. Okay, Kristian,
you.
thanks so much for coming on to Love It Film. Genuinely, I really did enjoy this conversation. Just hearing what it's like, hearing somebody talk about how they were working on something you grew up with is a very, very meta experience. I'm like, I'm talking to Hodor
let me turn it
about
around for
being
you.
Hodor. It's like, you know.
Hearing someone say they were growing up when you were working is also weird.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not old as well. Like, I'm only 25, so you know, like, it wasn't that long ago. But yeah, honestly, man, thanks so much for taking the
Anytime.
time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Well, anyway, folks, thanks so much. And Kristian, thanks for coming on, man, okay?
Anytime. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thanks, buddy. Have a good night.
He was so nice, you know, like it's rare you meet somebody who's just that authentically themselves and nice. And dude, that was really, really cool. Talking to the real Hodor about working as Hodor in Game of Thrones.
If you told me back
so cool.
If you told me back in 2018, 2019 that we'd be talking to the actor who plays Hodor, I wouldn't believe you. The biggest show of the world at one point, you know.
Back in like 2016, 17, to get him on a podcast wouldn't have been possible because it was so secretive, you know. So I can't thank Kristian enough for coming on, because rare you meet somebody who is so nice and authentically themselves.
Of course,
I had a blast talking to him. I mean, Game of Thrones, it was so cool talking about the ending and stuff to somebody who was in it, because it is the most controversial ending of all time. And as I said to Kristian, a big element of that is that everybody wanted their own ending, so there was never a real way to make everybody happy. But I do get what he said and what the world says, where a lot of it was very, you know, dragons flashy at the end, rush, let's get this going done and get on to the next project. So yeah, it's one of those things where yes, the ending could have been better, but doesn't mean you shouldn't watch the show. It's some of the best TV ever made.
No, yeah, like 100%. Like, I think our Chloe on the team here, she's watching it for the first time, and I'm curious what she's gonna think, because obviously there's no discussion about Game of Thrones really nowadays. So I wonder if she's gonna be influenced by what we've kind of maybe let split, or is she gonna actually like the ending? Because I like everyone else was my favorite show in the whole world. It actually was over Breaking Bad for me at one point. Breaking Bad is still the greatest show of all time, but it nearly topped it if it weren't for that ending. It's so weird though, because it's now 2025. When did the show finish up? 2019.
6 years ago, Game of Thrones ended. That makes me feel old.
Yeah, and of course we have 2 seasons now with a spin-off show. We can get into that later, but
Dragon,
it's really cool just to speak to someone who was on a production of that magnitude. You know, filming in, you know, of course, our homeland pretty much, only up the north.
Yeah, we're
you
in
know,
the Republic of Ireland. Game of Thrones was the majority of the show was all done in Northern Ireland.
About an hour drive from us to
multiple counties in the north of Ireland. For people who don't know, Ireland is actually like 2 countries. The north of Ireland and the Republic are completely different, but the landscape looks the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's super interesting just talking to him about the physical toll the show took on like his back, and like how it was also very fun
carrying Bran around for 2 seasons.
He spoke a lot about Isaac Hempstead-Wright, who plays Bran, and how himself, Kristian, was very much like a father figure to Isaac, and how they're very, very close to this day. It'd be great to get Isaac on the show. I'd love to talk to him about
considering the show
becoming king. You know,
the show ended with him. Like, what did you think of that ending? Is my question.
Man, look, I said to Kristian. I mean, I didn't want to get too into it because somebody who was very
not in a just
obviously I wasn't happy with the ending. I would have rewritten it a different way. Not to say I'd have any experience or be able to do it, but obviously it could have been better, but it is what it is. The show's over. Like, I mean, it's dead. Like, it's done. You can't make another.
Like, if you ever see like Kit Harington in interviews, people still asking him about a Snow sequel. And
did you hear what Kristian said? He still gets DMs the other day even, where somebody rewrote and they asked him to give it to George R. Martin because they're friends. So I don't know what that's about. You know,
that's a bit much now. No, I mean,
it's
like,
cool that they're friends though. Kristian and George. He's talking about how close he is with him. And, you know,
tell him to finish the last book. No, it's like the actors had nothing to do with that script. They all done their best work, and everyone that worked on those sets as well. You know, from the production designer to the runners. They put their heart and soul into that, so they had nothing to do with that writing, and obviously I wasn't too happy with it. Personally, it's just, I think, a matter of they rushed it because they got the
Star Wars.
Yeah, they got Star Wars. They got a deal, or I don't know if it was a handshake deal or whatever, but for 3 movies, and then of course they released Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones got shitted on.
And the Night King should have been the last
Yes, 100%.
Look, here's the biggest issue.
But no,
Right?
if you let me,
Season 5, Jon hits the sword with the Night King. And it's the coolest moment
Yeah.
of all time. All anyone wanted to see was them fight and Jon kill him.
and then
Why
they
didn't they do it?
didn't do that.
So
The
I was
fans,
quiet until he brought that up.
They should have lost the Battle of Winter.
yeah, and because they completely dropped the ball, and the fans, it was like the most like spoken about thing online at the time. They lost the contract with Disney clearly because there's not been any movies with them. And it was kind of karma. Like, look, they done a great job of adapting George R. R. Martin's material up until season 6, when of course they only had outlines from him. And if they just maybe, because they had the option to do 10 seasons apparently, from what I've heard, they only they were given 10, but they wanted to wrap it up earlier. And I think if they just didn't jump the gun, we would have gotten.
Look, I was alright thinking about the ending till he brought up the thing about the Night King. I'm really upset now.
Yeah, no,
But anyway.
we could go into our fanfic for how the show could have ended.
Kit
So
Harington is so underrated.
Yeah.
He is a brilliant actor. He should be the next Doctor in Doctor Who.
Yeah.
They should make a new Doctor who has a hood up. He's all dark, kind of like Chris Eccleston, He's like, go away. Well, look, thanks so much for watching the Love of Film podcast. I mean, as I said last week, we're new. We're small. We're only here because you're here. You're liking our videos, you're commenting, you're keeping us going. So thank you for coming back to the show and giving us good comments. I mean, as I said last week, it means a lot to hear anything, good or bad, criticism. We like it all. So keep it coming. We're still relatively small, so if you comment something, big likelihood we will respond. So folks, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to subscribe, click the bell notifications, and I will see you, and he'll see you next week.